is reaching well. So coming back to you with another one. Let's get it. So obviously the last few episodes, we've been spending a lot of time really doubling down and drilling home and having a better understanding of BRC20, the whole ecosystem that's been essentially built on Bitcoin. So via inscriptions, obviously layer 2 via stacks, the DEX that was obviously recently launched with Alex Lab, and all the other interesting things that's really here to come. So as we like to be extremely early to new ecosystems, to new narratives, and really taking a role where we can just participate and play a role in terms of innovating. So building out infrastructure to help the growth, and also participating in terms of, investing in and supporting various projects. This is what we do. This is who we are. So we'll continue to push the envelope to be able to take this whole space to another level. So anyway, so this is the BRC20. So we are literally about 600 million at the moment in terms of market cap. So we're gradually seeing some progress. I really believe this time next year, so we're looking at May now, 19th May. I believe this time next year, we will be looking comfortably, I'm looking at least 20, 30, 40x on the low side in terms of this whole BRC20 space. There's going to be a lot of tentacles and extensions in different areas, but I really believe that we're really building something absolutely phenomenal, and everyone's really focused on really taking it to another level. So that's where we are. Obviously, you can see here, all these still up there with quite a large proportion of the market cap, or just shy more of about 300 million in terms of market cap. B20, so this is the token of Alex. So they've come in number 2. So they're here to stay. Obviously there's going to be a lot of more competitors that's going to be coming in terms of DEXs, but they have the leader advantage. So we see how things will progress. A few people ask questions just in terms of the transaction aspects. Obviously, you need to be aware there's a lot of congestion that's taken place, as you can see here, disclaimer, on the Stacks network via the mempool. So people that are essentially converting from whichever crypto to Stacks, and then looking to transfer Stacks over. So Stacks will then be transferred over to your Hyro wallet. Or via the bridge, right? So people want to be bridging using this function here. So you need to connect your MetaMask and then basically bridging. Currently it's only USDT, bridging over to Stacks chain, which is on the L2. And then obviously Alex is built on top of that, essentially connected. So that's what you need to do to be able to convert. But in order for you to actually make any transactions to buy anything, or even to be able to add any orders to the order book, you do need the transaction, you do need Stacks. So it's imperative that you do move Stacks over, so you have enough to cover the transactions fees when you're making orders. So we do have a few projects that's obviously listed, B20, that's really come out of the gate very, very strong now. You've got Pizza, SHNT, you've got Max, you've got Long, and there's a list of more that's going to be. So we're seeing this gradual listing of projects, and I think probably within the next few weeks, you're going to see a large percentage of these projects will be listed. There will also be this movement where you can also then the inscription. So any inscriptions that you've done, you can be able to then migrate that over to Alex. I think that's going to be launched very, very soon. So there's some, phenomenal progress in terms of where that's moving to. If you do have also any questions or report any bugs or stuff, then you can go to the gov.alexlab.co to be able to take a look just via documentation to see any other people that raise these queries, to answer maybe questions you have, or make a report. So I think that's just helping that whole process, which is really, really good. We also heard recently from Binance. Binance basically came out, obviously what I do love about centralized exchanges, when they see that there's a trend taking place, they obviously want to be all over it. So we're seeing that Binance have come out with their own report regarding the BRC20 in terms of the inception, the market outlook, the metrics, and so on and so forth. So people can have a better understanding. So I do definitely recommend that you can spend some time to read. over it in your own time, just to see where it is. So just going over the BRC20, from ERC20 to BIP20, just in terms of that whole progress, right? And then, taking a look at ordinals, inscriptions, and so on and so forth. So yeah, definitely spend some time to be able to go through that and have a better understanding, because I really believe that this ecosystem is here to stay. What we're looking at, we're not looking at a new blockchain that's just come out that two devs have essentially had an idea or basically forked an EVM chain. We're talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the 800-pound gorilla. Bitcoin is essentially, this is the digital gold. This is essentially now, which people thought it was only there for transactions. It's now really morphed into so much more. And I think this is the reason why, you can be able to, from inscriptions and having uploading data, whether it's, JPEGs or images, whatever you want. I think this is really opening up some phenomenal opportunities, and it's down to you to be able to take advantage, whether you want to be able to, any creativity you have. So here we are, and I think it's really, really important. Also talking about the importance, we did hear, from Saylor. So Saylor is quite a huge player within the whole crypto space. He holds a large proportion from the MicroStrategies, now the executive chairman. He holds a large proportion of, not large, but he holds quite a nice amount of Bitcoin, and he's a huge proponent of the space. He basically came out and he's very positive. He's now become an advocate of the impact of ordinals and the inscriptions that's taking place. So I think this is really giving some more juice to this ecosystem, right? So just listen to what he has to say.
As a miner, I would be ecstatic. I think that long term, there are a lot of implications. Long term, the implication is there's going to be a lot of applications on the Bitcoin base layer. If I can inscribe a piece of art, right? An NFT is kind of an art, but I could also inscribe my last will and testament. And if my last will and testament is moving $1 billion from me to you, how much is it worth to you to have that burned onto the blockchain and cryptographically verified?
Yeah, at least $1 billion for me, Michael.
Would you pay $20?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Would you pay $100?
Of course.
There you go. So there are interesting applications.
So it's quite interesting, it's gone beyond just the situation of inscribing some data that maybe from memories, but it could go in, various utilities regarding businesses, so inheritance or transactions that take place or big deals, right? You're trying to complete a transaction, a property transaction. You can be able to inscribe that information on the blockchain that basically states the location, the house, how much was transacted, who was involved within this transaction, right? There's just some phenomenal ideas. And then even taking a one step further is providing these unique utilities. Then as an offering, there's so many ways that you can go down in terms of revenues, business models. So I think it's just really open to how creative you are to be able to take advantage of what I believe is really going to happen in the next space. And I'm extremely excited. And not just as we're seeing just regarding the inscriptions, the ordinals, the BRC20 regarding the tokens. What we are now start seeing, and this is what I love, we are starting seeing smart contracts. So previously we thought that, okay, well, right now you can basically just make an inscription. You could be able to then mint, you can be able to deploy, and that's where the buck stops. But no, there are now companies, there are now, individuals, projects now building. So this is trustless computer. They've now come up with ideas, use dApps, so decentralized applications on Bitcoin. So absolutely phenomenal, where you can then start building very smart contracts. So here there's a trustless wallet, bridge, market, facet, domain, so this is just like on a daily basis, you're just seeing so much that's taken place basically. So here you can basically just open this up, trust a crypto wallet and gateway to decentralized applications on Bitcoin. So all these things is do your due diligence, spend some time, take a look at this information, because this is now really providing this, the shovels, that we need that to really take this, this whole level to another step. So this base level, the layer 2, the various protocols that's taken place, the DAOs, the gaming. I just think this is absolutely phenomenal. So you just have to line up where you stand and how you can play a role in this. So that's come out. That's extremely interesting. And then with that, there'll obviously be code, right? So then this is where auditors like, my company, taking a look at, auditing certain contracts and providing value from that aspect. So there's so many different things you can take a look at there. Okay, so let's just move on here. So we basically touched on that aspect. Now we can obviously see in terms of the BRC20. So this is basically a token standard on Bitcoin, which is similar to ERC721. So what that essentially means, it's where you can basically like run trustless auctions, for your NFTs on Bitcoin. So this is not just, Ethereum. This is not just Solana, for example. This is actually, on Bitcoin. So basically then, as I mentioned here, collectible items, membership, lottery tickets, in-game items, and more, so much more. And this is just giving you the code that you can be able to copy. You can go to Open Zeppelin to be able to import these files. And then you could really just start implementing it. Obviously, you may want to add some information if you want to, but this is just really opening the ideas to where you could essentially now start writing your own contracts, then start essentially compiling, deploying those contracts onto Bitcoin. This is not Ethereum. This is not any other. This is onto Bitcoin. So just absolutely phenomenal in terms of the growth and where we are moving to in this space. I also do believe, as I mentioned in the last episode, we will start to see areas such as indexes, people building out indexes. We will see like more centralized exchanges starting to roll out BRC20 support over the coming days, weeks, months. And we'll start to see more BRC20 tickers, right, to list. So from an investment perspective, just be aware of which projects that are currently listed, that have some form of utility. Start going through this whole process, understanding more about the model, about what they're trying to achieve, understanding about the holders, the community. I think it's extremely important to a thriving community that could be able to take these projects to another level, because I think this is really, really important, especially this whole Web3 era. And then really start to say, okay, where's the play? Where do you see this whole market moving? And then the potential of these, centralized exchanges listing these specific tokens. So that's where we are. We'll continue to add more information. Like I said, I'm coming to you hopefully on a daily basis with content, with information. We're going to also start taking a look at certain projects that are coming listed, projects that haven't listed. We're going to start doing due diligence like we've done before on these projects. We're going to start building out checklists. So be prepared. Please make sure, if you haven't, that you subscribe, because we're going to provide you with some phenomenal content that you like, so we can be able to be part of the algorithm. And then if you want to be able to support what we're doing, there's obviously, we're part of Patreon as well, so you can be able to support that. And I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.